The shift in the gaming industry has been happening at full force in 2025, from indie games taking over the AAA industry and just basically bashing over with the head with a baseball bat, to smaller studios in general just becoming the dominant thing for probably generations to come if they continue on their current path. And it seems to be the same thing with gaming platforms and online stores, especially when we consider what we're going to be talking about today. And yes, I am talking about the biggest platform and probably the platform that will be very infamously remembered as the one who goes full Karen mode. Greetings, ladies and gents, my name is Helzo, the bearded Balkan blabbermouth, and I am discussing, and today we're going to be talking about something very peculiar. I wasn't able to do videos last week, and apparently a lot of things can happen in a week, and this is a very spicy one. But before we continue, if you enjoy my video, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, of course, and commenting below with your opinion after watching it. It helps the channel, it helps me as a creator, and it helps everything that I'm trying to build up here. And if you want to help me directly and help homeless animals and animals in shelter, which is the main cause of this channel, do consider becoming a member and clicking on the join button. Thank you very much, and now back to the video. So today we're going to be talking about Steam, the biggest and most popular online store and platform for hosting games, and a little indie studio called Sakura Studios and their game Aftermath ran by Leg. If you don't know what that is about, well, basically Steam has been going down the Karen road, or the collective shout road, if you rather put it like this, and tries to implement stuff that don't really make sense in the grand scheme, especially when you have the things that you're trying to ban a studio already on your platform. I'm going to be referencing the X page of the game because they have been very active with communicating with the community, with communicating with everyone, with people like Smash JT, with external stores. They have even turned to GOG for support of hosting their game there. And in general, they have been really into the whole community spirit and in terms of communicating with gamers and not just with investors and online reviewers or outlets. So this is the game Aftermath ran by Lake, and this is their Twitter page. And we're going to be reading the first post from them, which is about what has been happening. This is from October 28, 2025. And just a disclaimer, I'm not going to go into the comment thread of these posts because on pretty much all of them, there is examples contradicting what Steam is doing, and you're gonna find out exactly what that is in just a bit. And it's very explicit imagery that I cannot really show here on YouTube. So apologies about that, but you can go and check it yourself if that's what's tickling your brain or whatever. Announcement: this image is the reason our Steam page has not been approved. This image is now classed as too mature according to Steam, so now we cannot have the page ready in time for the event and would need to censor our marketing, screenshot, etc. This is what censorship is coming to in the games industry, and we have to ask now, is it worth it for them to move the goalposts down the line? We could have it all remade and hope they accept it, but where will it stop? We will need to redo the networking too if we move platform, but do you really want a censored game? We don't. Anyone know of any platforms they recommend or publishers that can handle mature content? Let us know. We're sorry about this. We work hard to get something ready that we can't even share, but we do have one thing that is playable that we will announce for Halloween. And this is the image. This is the image of a woman in a one-piece bathing suit in a lake with leggings and her ass. Guess which one is the censored part and what is the reason that this image was censored? If you guessed butt cheeks, yep, you got it right. This image was censored and the whole page was not approved because of this image. And I don't know if you have browsed through Steam in the last 10 years or so, and you have seen games like Leisure Suit Larry or even the more recent explicit games that pretty much have every bit of frontal nudity in front of them. But yeah, so this is really and I mean this really is not an issue that anyone can have on a hill and die on it. The reason that they're censoring by their claims, and we'll get to that, is that this is too explicit. And there was a bit of an attempt of being an issue that the studio was probably not being truthful or not classifying their game in the best way. And they addressed that as well. And they said this, okay, so we keep being asked about this adult only tag, so we'll do our best to clear it up here. On Steam as dev, we have only these options as shown in the image below. There is only one option for the only sexual content. We can't tick that because we have to be accurate. They decide the rating and it won't display unless the game page is published. We have ticked mature options for our game, which is different from adult. But none of this is relevant because Steam themselves told us that all mature games, even adult, only have to have no sexual imagery in the capsules or library assets. See image below. So our point is that because the capsules are publicly viewable, they are saying our game page isn't allowed because they class a woman's behind regardless of outfit is too mature. Now, yes, regardless of outfit, yet they have allowed games with sexual images in their same asset as ours. All games now including 18 plus can have sexual images according to Steam's new rules. We're simply pointing out the unfair hypocrisy and the fact a woman's behind in a swimsuit should not be classed as too mature. There is no special 18 plus setting that exempts people from this rule anymore. We just got hit because the page has been submitted after their rules change. I really hope this helps. A lot of people are accusing us of mistagging the game when we have set it to mature, but it wouldn't make a difference in their eyes. Only the screenshots and trailer can be more mature now. And they're showing all the screenshots. They're showing, please specify frequent violence on record. This is a horror game. They have picked some nudity or sexual content. They have picked general mature content. They have also pointed out about the note for adult only frequent nudity and sexual content. And there is a message from the Steam team because this is absolutely a Karen move, that when they said, if you look long enough, I'm sure you'll find plenty of other partners who are breaking our rules and guidelines. Focusing the topic on the image on a woman's behind is indeed sexual in nature, regardless of what she is wearing. Your graphical assets can be viewed by everyone on the platform. You should be appropriate for the store. Any clothing, but it has a woman's behind, and that is considered sexual. You know, that is considered inappropriate and something that shouldn't exist in a thumbnail, and something that is highly sexual. Well, let me ask this: if you have, let's say, gay people who by definition like the same sex, and you have let's say a man's behind and it's in jeans or in shorts or in slippers or in boxers and the image is focused on them, wouldn't that kind of be sexual as well? Or no, that doesn't apply? Also, what happens to all the other games that are on the platform? They're getting a free pass, or are you inciting people for malicious compliance and basically going on the route of, oh, report, and we'll remove everything, you can do our job for us? Well, I have an answer for that. They have an update from today. They said, update, they really said do our job for us. You can't even make this stuff up. No refund, no answers, can't even deal with this. And this is the conversation again from 2 days ago, which the studio said, so you're admitting that other have graphics that are indeed more sexual than ours that are still allowed on your platform. So just for the record, you are aware of this and still want to approve our page. Also, it will be interesting to see what the community thinks on your stance against women's behinds. That's an amazing take, and they have taken to the community, and it's just blowing up even more and more. As a diverse team, our female team believe in women being given the freedom to wear what they want without censorship, and think players should be able to see a swimsuit without being called mature or sexual content. So what is it, Steam? What is that? Are you going to be progressive? Are you going to be conservative? Are you going to be religiously conservative? What is it? Take a stance already. Don't try to play on all fields. You cannot do that. You literally have sex games that show more in their graphics that are viewable by everyone, but you're worried about the barely visible back, and that's the reason why I'm not showing comments. Also, you said regardless of what they wear, so jeans are not sexual. Not sure if this is the hill you want to die on. Players hate censorship. If you won't permit our page, we want a full refund. Basically, this studio just went full we speak for the gamers and we speak the truth, and I completely agree with their message. It is not a hill you want to die on, especially with everything that has been going on in the gaming industry, with all the discourse, with all the contempt, with everything that we have been talking about and continue to talk about against the AAA gaming industry, against censorship, against narrative, against propaganda and everything. That's basically the worst thing you as a store can do. And in any decently run universe, Steam will have replied with a very, very concise answer, basically admitting to everything that they have been pointed out to, but we don't live in that universe. So the answer is the following: if you see ads that are breaking the rule, please use our official reporting feature on the game store page by using the button with the flag icon, which can be found on the right hand side of their page next to the embed buttons. We use these reports to investigate problems or abuse with games and take actions when appropriate. However, we don't provide updates or info on the outcome or share how we handle those situations with other parties. So apart from this being the most robotic, out of a official procedure, template, paragraph answer that you can possibly get to a real issue that you're trying to get to the bottom of, it is also such a Karen-like answer that is just abhorrent. And I know I've been using that word a lot, and this has become basically a patent word for me, but this is abhorrent. This is basically you as a company, Steam, you're just saying you better watch it or we will do whatever the hell we want, and we won't allow your game for whatever reasons we decide that are relevant. I mean, it's like they're operating on vibes. You know, if my vibes are not feeling okay, I'm not feeling it, I'm not gonna approve the page today. I don't care if you're following all the rules, I just don't feel it, you know, and I have a bunch of vague rules that are gonna help me explain myself, and I don't care. I don't care that you're an indie game. I don't care that you have had passion. I don't care that you sweated for, let's say, 5 or 6 years every waking moment, believing that your passion will profit and that you have a place on our platform that we constantly promote, that is a good place for games, that is going to be hosting your game and you're going to be shown to the world. No, I don't like it. I don't care about that. You know, that's the level that they're presenting. That's the level that Steam is presenting as a company right now that they're operating on. It's amazing. It is amazing how a company can do that and not suffer any consequences. And believe me, they're not going to suffer any consequences, not unless people keep on to these things and not just forget about them and in 3 days. This image from Aftermath, the famous meme, yeah, this is not allowed, but this, which is a game literally said sex with Hitler and femboy Fuller House, is allowed. This is allowed, completely allowed. Red line, you have a woman in a swimming suit. Nope, it's not. And then they said, oh, so it's only a woman's behind, that's not allowed. Got it. On a serious note, this makes it sick. It's time to end this. And this is the image I shown a little bit earlier. And then Vara Dark chimes in with an amazing comment. So now women's butts are too graphic. Next, is it going to be ankles, shoulders, wrists? This is why I always say censorship is a slippery slope. We've now gotten to the point where a woman's body is more offensive than the games with gore and violence. And that is true. It is more offensive because it is offensive to have someone fantasize about it and basically goon or even have any inappropriate thoughts, because that's how censorship works. But it only works one way. Again, if you have a gay person doing this to a man, it's not going to be a problem because that's progressive. So you're both for censorship and progressiveness. It's not going to work. And then Aftermath Gamer replies, if we use Steam's logic, children shouldn't be allowed in swimming pools or on beaches. They should be isolated from the natural female form, and that even seeing a butt in jeans is too mature. Sadly, some people agree with this and some people want us to just change the store's assets. And basically that's it. Either they bend over and redo everything and hope that the mastermind goes and says, okay, you have been a good boy, you're going to be allowed to have your game, and then get a snubbed version of that game that possibly is not going to look anything like it, or they keep to their toes, and because they're an indie developer, they don't have the money for that. They don't own the budget of, let's say, a company like BioWare or someone else. Even though they're failures, they still have a lot of money, and they're not going to be able to keep up with that if they don't release their game in time, and then they'll basically start making back the money that they have invested. That's the risks when you're doing this as an indie developer. That's the risk when you're starting something from the scratch and just putting every bit of savings. You take out loans, you take out money from different sources, you do Kickstarters, and you have promises, and you have to deliver on those promises, and when you don't, get people angry and stuff like that. It's a vicious circle, and it's a very high pressure. And when Steam or any other platform does you dirty like that, especially when they're not being honest and when they're not being transparent or even consistent about their policies, that's when you're getting really, really absolutely boned to the bone from such a page. And that's how probably big companies like Steam are used to kind of bullying, in my opinion, small indie developers into bending the knee. But in this case, they kind of went in a wrong direction and stumbled upon, for a lack of a better term, on a very angry and dangerous chihuahua, if we're talking about size. And that chihuahua has done a lot of damage. It has been loud, and it has routed all the community behind it. They have more and more support. There's more and more people talking about it. And the aftermath of this, if this continues, might just make Steam bend the knee a little bit, although that might be a wishful thinking. Anyways, it is a thing to behold, and it's something that you have to comment, you have to talk about, because if we don't talk about these things, they're just going to keep happening, and they're going to be worse and worse and worse. And people in the industry are going to talk about that you're talking only about drama, or you don't care about games. Don't listen to those people, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. We love our games, and we want to keep our games. We love our games, and we want to protect our games. We love our games, and we want to keep the drama, the censorship, the propaganda, any sort of extremists away, and we want our games back to the way we love them, and we love spending the money on them. We want escapism, we want entertainment without any censorship, without any sort of holding your hand and telling you what you need to like or what you're allowed to like. We're allowed to make our own decisions. We're adults, and we can make that decision for ourselves. And that's why we spend our hard-earned money on those games. And we'll continue to stand against censorship, against propaganda, against extremism. We will stand up for gaming and for the gaming companies and for the true game developers. That's what we're always going to be. But anyways, this is all I have for this video today. It is a longer video, and trust me, I wanted to talk much more about it, but we're going to be covering this in future streams, in future shows, and we're definitely not letting this go. But if you enjoyed my, please consider subscribing to the channel, taking a minute to write a comment and share your opinion. And if you want to join the channel and help me grow directly and help homeless animals and animals in shelters, which is one of the main focuses on this channel, please click the join button and become a DiscussThing Guild member. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Hel, I am DiscussThing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers and stay fresh.